What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chase Gentry, official Ford Team Bronco ambassador, and I have the privilege of being in Michigan with none other than the 2022 special edition Bronco Everglades right behind me, which is obviously why you clicked on the video. So I get some hands-on time with it, so I'm going to share with you what makes this thing a little bit unique and different from the rest of the Bronco lineup. We'll go over some features and functions, push some buttons. We'll show you guys all the cool things about it inside and out. And then, if you have any comments or want to know something specific, drop it down below. Obviously, like the video, subscribe. Thanks for clicking on it. And yeah, let's get into the video. Some of the features that make the special edition 2022 Bronco Everglades unique from the rest of the Bronco lineup is it has a factory installed Warn Xeon synthetic winch up on the front. Now, what makes that significant, right? You can get the same accessories for the rest of the Bronco lineup and add it after you make your purchase. However, the Bronco Everglades comes factory installed with it already in the front of the Bronco. Wired, factory plugs, everything is warranted, so you don't have to worry about adding that at a later point in time. It's part of the packaging with the Everglades. Okay, so not only do you get a winch, but you also get a factory installed snorkel. That's freaking rad. The snorkel is super beneficial for several different circumstances. One being water, preventing water penetrating your engine, keeping you from hydrolocking your brand new Bronco when you're out on an adventure, going through the Everglades or the wetlands. That's obviously why it got its name. But also, for instance, I spent a week out in Johnson Valley a couple weeks ago for King of the Hammers, and it's a super dusty environment. And all of that dust penetrating your intake, going into the top of your engine, it's no bueno. So the intake relocated up high on the windshield via the snorkel helps eliminate some of those contaminants penetrating your engine, thus creating more power, and creating a more reliable engine long term. What's also unique about the factory installed snorkel is that it has a plate on the front and the rear of it where you can open or close depending on the circumstances that you're in. So for example, if you're going through a high dusty environment, you might want to close the front plate and open the back plate. Versus water, it doesn't really matter, so you might open the front versus the back. Some snorkels are kind of big and obnoxious. This one fits the Bronco very well. It looks really good, it's aesthetically pleasing, and it's functionally an item you would want to have on your Bronco, so that's pretty cool. Again, the Everglades is different, so another thing that makes it or sets it apart from the rest is it's got its special edition Carbonized Gray aluminum 17-inch wheels that have more of a retro classic look to them, which I think are super rad. They look great on the Bronco. I actually wouldn't mind having those on my Bronco. Maybe that might be something down the line that somebody can add to other Broncos, but the wheels on the Everglades specifically, they're a different rim than it's available on the rest of the Bronco lineup, and they look great. Okay, so when you're out, on your adventures, out in the wetlands, and you're fording through water, another thing that sets the Everglades apart is they've relocated all the drivetrain vent tubes at higher position underneath the Bronco, which means you have a higher water fording capability. That's a tongue twister. So it relocates your breather vents on the drivetrain, the transfer case, the differentials, so that way you can ford up to 36.4 inches of water, which is again 3 inches higher than the regular Broncos. Again, just thus giving you a little bit more capability for different types of adventures. All right, next up on the list of awesome things about the Everglades is we've got some different cosmetic things that the Everglades comes with. One being the sticker on the side of the fender that kind of has a graphic of the Everglades or the wetlands, which is where it was sort of bred out of. So that plaque or sticker on the side of the fender kind of gives you a signature thing that it is an Everglades. It's got the factory installed roof rack on the top of the Bronco, which mounts to the front windshield and to the back of the top, so you can mount accessories on the top if you need to. Moving along into the inside of the Bronco, again, things that set it apart from the rest of the lineup is that they've changed some of the coloring on the interior features, like the grab handles, the stitching, to a green color, which I'm a big green guy. I like Goaty green. So having that sort of earthier tones inside compared to like the yellow or the blacks and the blues and the rest of the Bronco lineups, I think is a super rad feature too. It's really pleasing on the eye, so that's really neat too. Talking about the Everglades, we're talking about all the things that makes it different. One thing that, on the outside of the Bronco, it's got a squared off fender flare, or fender rather. So the fenders on the Everglades compared to the rest of the Broncos are going to have more of a squared wheel arch, which again, kind of talking back about the early Broncos, it has a little bit more of that heritage vibe to it that is only available on the Everglades with that different profile on the fender. Getting an Everglades 2, it's only available in a 2.3 with the 10-speed. So you can't get an Everglades with a 2.7. Now I can speak from personal experience. I've literally been driving around in a 2.3 Bronco for like the last 12,000 miles. And that 300 horsepower powertrain is absolutely insane. So don't think just because it's a 4-cylinder, you're not gonna have adequate power. That is not the case. So again, just a little fun fact there to keep in mind when you're looking about maybe ordering an Everglades 2.3, not a 2.7. Last thing that the Everglades is, what makes it unique is that it comes standard with the Sasquatch 2.0 Haas suspension. So with the rest of the Bronco lineup, you have to add that as an option to get the 35s, to get the higher ground clearance and all that kind of stuff. With the Everglades, you don't have to do that. It's a standard option with the Everglades. So it's another thing that you kind of get with that packaging. So again, more peace of mind when you're out doing your adventures. You're going to have that extra ground clearance, that extra plus year suspension. You air those big tires down, not going to worry about having to get stuck and having that kind of weird, like, man, I wish I had bigger tires. This comes with it. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed watching this video. I know it was kind of brief. I tried to give you as much information as possible while not overcomplicating things. I want to thank Ford from the bottom of my heart for this opportunity to come out here and get some hands-on time in Michigan, the birthplace of the Bronco. Thank you guys so much for giving me this opportunity, getting to see this. Everyone watching behind the screen, thank you so much for watching, clicking on the video. Do me a favor, please like the video. Drop me a comment. By you supporting these videos, it allows me to continue to keep doing stuff like this and having other opportunities to share awesome, rad vehicles with you guys. So the more support you guys give me, the more I can give you back. So thank you so much for that. We'll see you in the next one. If you notice, there's a beautiful race red wild truck behind me. That's mine. I'm gonna go play with it.